It seems like yesterday. The images of number 23 etched in our minds, astonishing us with the incredible, thrilling us with the unbelievable, amazing us with the inconceivable. But that was yesterday. A new day reveals a very different number 23. Once starving for the taste of victory, he has tasted so many times before. Struggling with the consequences of age. Battling a new breed of unprecedented athleticism. Yet his pursuit is relentless. His mind unforgiving. And his effort unmatched. Reminding us of the possibilities tonight. Although he is wearing the uniform of the Washington Wizards here in Chicago, they still pay homage to the legend of number 23 who led the Bulls to 6 NBA championships. Tonight, Michael makes his return to the United Center for the first meeting of the season between the Washington Wizards and the Chicago Bulls. And happy holiday from all of us at TNT as we welcome you. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert. We'll be joined in just a moment by the Czar, Mike Fratello, and Jeff Van Gundy. And this a matchup of two teams that have certainly had their ups and downs, although both come off quality victories. The Wizards at home the other night defeating San Antonio. The Bulls here in Chicago able to knock off the red-hot Portland Trailblazers. But there's no question the major story tonight, the return of Michael Jordan. For more on that, let's send it over to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, it's difficult for many in this city to see Michael wearing a uniform other than Chicago, and that includes Bulls owner Jerry Reinsdorf. Reinsdorf asked Jordan if they could do something special for him either tonight or in his final appearance in Chicago, January 24th. Michael said, "I would prefer if he did not." I talked to Reinsdorf tonight. He said that puts him in a no-win situation. If they do something, it betrays Jordan's trust. If he doesn't do something, it appears to the fans that they don't care. I asked Jordan about the situation. He said they've already done enough. They've had 2 retirement nights for me in '94 and '99. This time, I prefer to pass through without any personal fanfare. Mark?
All right, thanks, Craig. We'll be very emotional here tonight. Only the second sellout of the season, better than 21,000, although they draw about 18,000, which is surprisingly good when you consider where the Bulls are. We're ready for the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's go to public address announcer Steve Scott.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Bulls welcome the world's greatest fans to the United Center. Tonight's game is between the Washington Wizards and your Chicago Bulls. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. Introducing first, the visiting Washington Wizards. The Wizards are coached by head coach Doug Collins. Now the starting lineup for Washington. At forward, 6'6", from North Carolina, Jerry Stackhouse. A 6'11" forward from Duke, Laettner. At center, 7 foot from North Carolina, Brendan Haywood.
exclusive home of the 2003 NBA All-Star Game.
To the United Center in Chicago. And just moments ago, it was a 2-minute, 8-second rousing standing ovation for the return of Michael Jordan. We had the clock on it. He did actually make his first return here last year and was driven nearly to tears by a long standing ovation. The game that followed was not exactly artistic basketball, and Michael, with a career-high 9 turnovers, scored just 16 points in a 77-69 victory. Jordan opening up on Jalen Rose as the Bulls control the opening tip. Danielle Marshall playing despite bruised ribs over Christian Laettner and rebounded by Brendan Hayward. This is Larry Hughes playing the point. Hughes and Stackhouse in the backcourt. We're just underway here in the Windy City, and Larry Hughes able to knock down the baseline jumper.
Just enough size advantage to get over the top of Jay Williams without any problems, get a good look at the basket. Larry Hughes playing much more under control this year, shooting the ball extremely well.
Brent Hassel not able to hit, and back come the Wizards, who are 14-17. Right now they're in that 8th and final playoff spot, only a game over Milwaukee. Game and a half in front of the Knicks. Here's Jordan connecting on his first field goal attempt.
I'm not sure that's a real good sign for the Bulls bench that MJ makes his first one.
Tyson Chandler, who comes off a career game, fires one up, rebounded by Laettner. Chandler the other night against Portland, 9 for 16, 27 points, 18 rebounds. Talking with Bill Cartwright, the head coach of the Bulls, earlier, he was even surprised as Hayward gets inside, and he is fouled by Marshall. But Tyson Chandler had one of those games that I'm sure he has been dreaming about.
He has, and now the challenge for him is, can he do it on a consistent nightly basis? And that's the difference between young players and great players, how often they can do it.
Well, we've seen the same thing happen. We've seen Kwame Brown have a great game on one of our broadcasts and then disappear for the next 4 or 5 games. With the young players, you just don't know what to expect night in and night out. It's a mystery, as Doug Collins would say.
And Bill Cartwright also telling us he hates, from a coaching point of view, games like this because his young players get overly excited, very emotional as they watch the proceedings earlier with Michael Jordan receiving that standing ovation. A couple of other factors also play in as Hassel is fouled by Hughes on a reach in. You have the return of Doug Collins, one-time head coach of the Chicago Bulls. You have Charles Oakley, who did not leave on good terms last year in a second go-around with Chicago. And you know that Charles will get playing time, and he will be very physical, although he is friendly with a number of these youngsters who did mentor last year. Jordan not able to hit. Kept alive. Hayward able to chase it down. Comes up with a save. Open Laettner around Marshall. Hayward off the nice pass from Laettner is fouled. He's hacked.
I think Cartwright's exact terminology was, I don't like these love fests. These things wind up being a love fest with one another. And he mentioned last year that it was so emotional that Ron Artest was exhausted by halftime of the game because of all the hype going into it and all the, the articles and the TV and radio interviews. And by the time he got done playing the first half, he was spent.
Well, John Chaney, the coach at Temple, had a great term. He called it being emotionally drunk. And I think what happens with young players is they don't know how to pace themselves throughout the day when it comes to games like this. Whereas Jordan, already having been through this, I would suspect would play a very good game here tonight.
A live TNT NBA Thursday Spanish language feed is now available by SAP. Here's Jalen Rose going to the fadeaway. Jalen Rose and the win over Portland the other night, which ended the Blazers' 8-game win streak with 32 points. On 10 of 23 from the field. It was the combination of Rose and Chandler leading the Bulls to the victory. They clear it out for Jordan. And that was deflected short by Marshall and tipped home.
The first play was almost a spectacular tip by Larry Hughes. Michael Jordan's shot was blocked, therefore it's a free ball. You can go up and tip it in, not worry about a goaltend situation. Larry Hughes almost tipped it in backwards using the glass over his head without seeing the basket.
Hassel taking it to the rim is fouled, and he hits the line.
First personal, second team.
You'll see that Jordan going up, shot is blocked. Underneath the basket, there's the piece of the ball right there. Larry Hughes facing the sideline, tips it in backwards over his head, almost kisses it in off the glass, but then stays with it, fouls it up with the tip in. Tremendous play by Larry Hughes.
And quietly, Larry Hughes has had an outstanding year. Doug Collins today called him the most improved player on his team. And Larry Hughes is a quiet player. Jordan and Stackhouse take most of the attention, but he's been very efficient. He's shooting a high percentage. He's kept his turnovers down. He's a very versatile player.
Wizards with the 9-3 early lead. Washington just 4 and 11 on the road. How about the Bulls? 10 up and 6 down. At home, Laettner is fouled. Kristen Laettner took a shot across the shoulder. Foul called on Danielle Marshall. Bulls, on the other hand, are 1 and 14 on the road. They won their season opener in Boston, then lost 14 straight.
It was interesting talking to both coaches today. How, and I don't think they had a conversation with each other, but both of them placed a tremendous emphasis, Doug Collins and Bill Cartwright, on the first quarter, Marv. The fact that Chicago, when they're leading after the first quarter, is 9-1 on the season. When they are losing at the end of the first quarter, they're 2 and 18. Washington, on the other hand, Washington 13 and 5 when they're winning after the first quarter, 0 and 10 when they're losing after the first quarter. So both coaches said it's really important how we play in the first quarter to the end result.
Nice pass. Stackhouse blowing the reverse. You feel that is because these are both fragile teams? That's not something you expect in the NBA if things don't go well early. Rose, and the tip by Rose.
Well, I think how you start is many times how you finish, and so it shows your level of preparation, your level of intensity, your level of unselfishness. So I think the score is not as important as how are you playing the game. If you're playing it the right way, you're going to have a chance.
Yeah, in Washington's case, they've been playing veteran guys most recently the majority of the minutes. In Chicago's case, they lose confidence very quickly when they get down in the first quarter.
Wizards with an 11-5 lead. Chandler given the room. Tyson Chandler with the side jumper.
That's an important shot for him. He's got great quickness, so if he can make that 12 or 15-footer, Brendan Haywood's going to have to extend his defense, and then he can use his quickness to go by him off the dribble.
And away from the ball, Trent Hassel and Jerry Stackhouse got involved. It's on Hassel. That's his first.
You'll see the low post trying to be fronted by Hassel, as Stackhouse winds up flashing into the low post area. The front by Hassel, a foul call.
And Stackhouse lost possession. He thought it was deflected out. Took his eye off the ball. This is the first of 4 meetings between the Bulls and Wizards. They're playing each other 3 times this month. The Wizards will be back here January 24th, and that will be Jordan's finale in Chicago. Nice play, Danielle Marshall for the 20-year-old Tyson Chandler.
Again, those are effort plays, going to the basket, emotional plays. I really like Danielle Marshall as a player. He's efficient. He can play 3 or 4. He can block shots. He shoots a high percentage. Very good offensive rebounder. Very underrated player.
Pretty pass. Wizards not able to convert on layups, and it's last touch by Hayward.
Well, those are the kind of baskets you have to get inside from your 7-footer. You get a nice little drop-off pass. You're a foot and a half away from the rim. You have to take that thing strong, try and dunk the basketball, at least draw contact, get to the foul line.
Hayward's already missed 3 shots right around the basket.
Jay Williams, pretty pass for Danielle Marshall. 8 unanswered for Chicago. Jay Williams, the rookie out of Duke, the number 2 pick in this year's draft. With the gorgeous setup, that leads to a Wizard timeout. The game is tied at 11. 8 straight points for Chicago. 6:11 remaining in the first.
You by Verizon Wireless. Sign up for America's Choice Family Share Plan. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. By the United States Army, an army of one. By Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, here with you. And by Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4s out there. Only in a Jeep 4x4.
Welcome back to Chicago, a night that has seen Michael Jordan make his return in the uniform of the Washington Wizards as we flash back. October the 26th, 1984, the old Chicago Stadium. And for Michael, his first NBA game, as it turned out, against the Washington franchise. Then the Washington Bullets. The Bulls won the game 109-93. Behind the back maneuver by Jordan, able to take it the distance. It was Jeff Rulin back there for the Bullets trying to defend against Michael. As Jordan went 40 minutes, 5 of 16 from the field, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. October the 26th, 1984 at Chicago Stadium. Thus far tonight, Michael is 1 for 3 from the field. Jerry Stackhouse able to hit the 3.
I think it was Jeff Rulin that gave Michael a taste of the stadium floor also when he drove down the lane one time.
Wasn't he part of McNasty and McFilthy? Weren't those?
At that time, I'm looking at the Washington roster. It was just Jeff. Jeff Rulin will play 36 minutes. Jeff Rulin, now the head coach of Iona, coming away with a terrific holiday festival victory for Iona.
Over North Carolina. He's done a very good job at Iona.
And a look at that Chicago Bulls roster for Michael's debut. Orlando Woolridge, Enos Watley, Steve Johnson, Caldwell Jones, Juwan Oldham, Sidney Green, Dave Corzine, Wes Matthews, Rod Higgins, now an executive with the Wizards, Charles Jones.
Sidney Green coaching down in Florida.
But after you see that roster, you see why it took so long for Jordan to win in this league. The supporting cast wasn't all-star caliber.
Christian Laettner called for the foul. And, of course, Doug Collins in his coaching stint here in Chicago. Spent 3 years with the Chicago Bulls in his final year. Bulls went to the Eastern Conference Final, and then Doug replaced by Phil Jackson as the Bulls went in another direction. Wizards up by 3 with 5:22 remaining in this first quarter. That was kicked out of bounds, so the ball back to Chicago.
That's 2 times tonight already we've seen Larry Hughes try to do something with the basketball that maybe, looking back at it, he should not try to do. A little bit too much tricky dribbling with the ball for Larry Hughes, who's not really what you call a pure point guard.
Here's Danielle Marshall. And the foot on the line. That's a 2-pointer.
That's where Kwame Brown has to pay more attention to scouting report defense. They talked today about having to close on Danielle Marshall after they trapped the pick and roll. He gave him space, too much space, lifted up, uncontested jump shot.
Jordan, played by Rose, tried to alley-oop to Kwame Brown, who had checked in following the timeout. Hassel with a rainbow. Marshall on the save, but ends up in the hands of Kwame Brown. Now Jordan being played by Jay Williams, goes right at him and scores.
Danielle Marshall was trying to get to him to double team. He saw the size advantage, but Jordan also saw Marshall coming at him, so he turned baseline away from the double team and shot over the top.
4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Tyson Chandler rejected by Kwame Brown. Hughes, Brown with the tip. Now we have seen flashes from Kwame Brown, and he's come on and done a couple of nice things right here.
Blocked a shot, ran the floor, tip in. Tyson Chandler did not run back, thought he got fouled, cost his team 2 points.
Williams not able to hit. Rebounded by Brown. Stackhouse leads the break. Stackhouse finds Hughes. And the Wizards up by 7.
Doug Collins said, we don't want to turn this into an up-and-down, shooting jump shots type of game, but we do want to run fast breaks for layups. He said, run breaks for layups. That's what they just got. You start out your good offensive stuff with defense most of the times. And here you'll see Kwame Brown playing head up on the basketball, block Chandler's shot. He gives it up to Jordan. Then he's the man who runs the middle of the floor on the missed shot. He's also the man to tip it back in for the Wizards.
One weekend, 3 nights of drama. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, for the first time on network television. The perfect... One weekend, 3 nights of drama. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, for the first time on network television. The Perfect Storm, 3 nights in a row. Starting Friday, January 10th at 8, only on TNT. We know drama.
Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. Marv Albert with the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager. The Wizards, with a good run, now lead the Bulls by the score of 20-13. Chicago at 11-20. Their last game, New Year's Eve, this past Tuesday night here at home, and they beat Portland by 15. That ended Portland's 8-game win streak. Al Crawford has come on, replacing Jay Williams. Marcus Fizer has played very well recently is in the ball game as the Bulls turn it over. Stackhouse takes the distance. Jerry Stackhouse puts the speed on.
Boy, he really turned on the Jets that time, and Michael hit it with a nice pitch-ahead pass to get the fast break opportunity.
8 unanswered points for Washington. Now Fizer guarded by Brown. Fizer with a bullet pass to Marshall.
And that's a lack of cutoff responsibility under the basket. Stackhouse was the next man that was supposed to rotate back that time. He came halfway but never went all the way. Obviously, the result.
The more pick and roll Chicago runs, the better quality shots they're going to get.
Pretty pass. Kwame Brown from Jerry Stackhouse. It seems every time that we televise a Wizard game on TNT, Kwame Brown comes up with terrific performances. They recall the career-high 20 points, career-high 6 block shots in a game against the Celtics back in late October. Kwame with 4 points, 4 rebounds. Here's Fizer going to a fadeaway, and Brown altered that shot.
I think it's something to do with his feelings towards you.
You know, he mentioned that earlier. It's very emotional. Laettner with the step, and he is fouled, hit on a reach-in. Foul committed by Hassel.
Go back and take a look at where the cutoff was supposed to take place before this thing even moves. Jerry Stackhouse, who's sitting in this area right down here in the bottom of the screen, he is the person who's supposed to be the cutoff man. As it starts to roll right now, high pick and roll leads to the pitch back. Now there's a rotation, hold right there. You see Stackhouse from behind, hands on his hips, a little late getting in there. No hands, got to get in front of him, stop the play.
Wizards now lead by 10. Christian Laettner, a 75% free throw shooter. Washington Wizards in a stretch playing 6 of 9 at home. And for Chicago, this is game 4 of a 6-game homestand. Fizer. And Fizer and the Bulls fortunate that was knocked out of bounds by the Wizards.
That's the same play, but Jordan was in there and cut off the inside and got a hand in because he got all the way back on the inside to cut off the low block pass.
Eddie Robinson on a nice inbound play. Eddie Robinson, who had been in and out of the lineup with a sore left knee.
I'm not sure if Washington knew if they were in zone or man right there. Just a straight basket cut. That's too easy.
I'll tell you who knew. Chicago knew because they just ran a dive cut right down the middle of the lane and wound up with a layup.
Kwame Brown continues to show the touch. Wizards now lead 28-17. Here's Crawford from way downtown. Jamal Crawford in his his third year out of the University of Michigan. He's made it back from knee surgery and he's played well. Has been unhappy that he's not getting more playing time. He is contending, though, with the Bulls' #1 draft pick, Jay Williams. Stackhouse, yes, and the Wizards on fire.
Well, I think many of the young Bulls are unhappy with their playing time. So many of them are close in ability. It makes it very difficult for Cartwright. I'd like to see the Bulls try Jay Williams and Crawford together so they're not competing always against each other as Crawford loses it for playing time.
Hughes is fouled. Joe Crawford says, I've got that call. Joe Crawford working with Ronnie Nunn, Violet Palmer.
First personal penalty.
Part of the problem of having a lot of young people on your team, they have a very difficult time understanding the big picture, the 82-game regular season schedule. Bill Cartwright has done a pretty good job of trying to manage the egos that are involved here, because a normal thing for young guys, after a couple games, they don't get the minutes they think they're supposed to get. First thing they do is when the game ends, they go to the phone and call their agents up. And they say, you know what, you got to get me out of here. I need to go to a place I can play.
Well, some of them, what they don't realize, if they were on a good team, they wouldn't even be playing. And some of them wouldn't even be in the league. So they should be happy that they're on a team that's building so that they're getting some minutes. Because, frankly, other than Donyell Marshall, Rose, and Jay Williams, if you were trying to play for now, you wouldn't have guys on Chicago in a rotation.
And, Jeff, another player in that category just checked in, Eddie Curry, who was benched the other night, and he has also been very vocal about the fact that he is not getting the playing time. Final seconds of the quarter, and Crawford lost it off his foot. The ball back to Washington with 5 seconds left in this first quarter. Bill Cartwright did not like that call.
Bill Cartwright saying that the ball was deflected by Kwame Brown, who stepped out there and stuck his left hand in there. Bill saying that the ball should go back to Chicago.
Michael Jordan back on the floor. Down to 2. Down to 1. Jordan has to force a 3. Jalen Rose got a piece of it. That's the end of the first quarter. The Wizards hit 11 of 20 from the field. 55% shooting. And they lead the Bulls 32-20 here in Chicago.
TNT, Shaq, Jason, Kobe, Allen, Kevin. And a final chance to see Michael Jordan rise to greatness one more time. From TNT, the only time of the year when the best battle the best. Don't miss the 2003 NBA All-Star Game live from Atlanta, Sunday, February 9th, starting at 8 Eastern, only on TNT.
Look at downtown Chicago on a 33-degree mild night in the Windy City. We welcome you back to the United Center. After 1, it's the Wizards by 12 over the Bulls. Well, you can decide which players will be all-star starters. You can log on to NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com, and cast your ballot for the 2003 NBA All-Star Game. You can watch the NBA All-Star Game February the 9th, exclusively here on TNT.
And that brings up something I'd like to ask you about. Should Michael Jordan, topic of conversation here, should he be on the All-Star team this year?
I think without question, even if they have to add a player.
I think they should definitely add a player. I don't think he should be there at the expense of a more deserving player. Add the player. He deserves it. He's meant that much to the league.
And it will provide a proper farewell. I know Michael, I just talked to him about this a couple of weeks ago. He was undecided as to whether he would play if he were asked to play.
Yeah, I would really hope that he would consider, if the league asked him to go there and be part of the All-Star weekend, that Michael would go. As you said, Jeff, he deserves that for what he has done for the NBA, and I think the fans. I mean, it's a treat for the fans to get to see him and say he was part. You know, they were there for part of the last All-Star game that he participated in. And Mark, think back to the Magic that night when Irvin Magic Johnson played in that game. What it was like, the electricity in the air that night.
And I think Jordan will understand that significance of him being there and will most likely play. I can't imagine him passing up that opportunity to say goodbye to fans throughout the league.
Well, if anybody would know, you would, because you and Michael so close.
Yeah, you know, we've gotten tighter over the years.
I bet you have.
Was there a reference at one time prior to a Nick Bulls game that you made?
Yeah.
Michael, that he kind of was able to use for motivation?
Yeah, that con man thing has come back to bite me, hasn't it?
That's a three for Jalen Rose.
And Marv, I don't know if you remember, but he got 51 of their 88 that night, and we lost by 1. So it was not a bright move on my part.
Good choice of words.
And the bad thing is it started as a compliment and somehow segued into...
See, if you called the Czar a con man, that would be a high compliment.
No, that would be just stating the truth. Yes.
All right, here's Tyronn Lue coming on for the first time, replacing Larry Hughes. Tyronn Lue with a black and blue eye. We'll get a look at it a bit later on as he ran into his teammate Christian Laettner in the game the other night. Off the weave attempted by Chicago. An offensive foul called on Marcus Fizer.
Eddie Curry, his first personal foul.
Corrections, Eddie Curry on that foul. Stackhouse trying to use the screen from Brown.
See, this is where Washington's going to struggle to score. They've got Stackhouse as their only legitimate scorer. They turn it over and Crawford gets a breakaway dunk. Because Washington can't throw it into Kwame Brown in the post. Etan Thomas is an improved post player. It's very hard for this second unit to score points.
But Etan Thomas should be a good low post player because he's got a nice little move that Doug Collins likes, and he has confidence in it.
Jerry
Stackhouse with confidence in that outside shot. Stackhouse with 9 points. The Wizards up by 9.
But then Washington's also got to trust him by throwing the ball into the paint. You can't ignore your post players and expect him to give effort at the other end of the floor.
Rose not able to hit. Fizer trying to save it. Look out in a collision with the official, Violet Palmer. Side out, says Violet, coming back strong.
You know what? Violet's a very underrated official. It was a novelty item when she got into the NBA, and now she's developed into a very good official. And I know, I can see my man Czar looking at me. I think it's true. And I'm going to stand by my statement.
Well, that's the 10th official this year. Fizer misses the dunk that time. The 10th official this year, you know, oh, great job. This is just getting ready for the return.
There's that word, con. Kwame Brown is fouled, and he will head to the line.
You guys are taking a shot at my character now.
And a timeout called. 3 minutes. Gone by in the second. Wizards 34, Bulls 25.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at 11 on Cartoon Network. The Action Cartoon.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta's Studio A with a friendly reminder that on February 9th, that's a Sunday, exclusively on TNT, you'll find the NBA All-Star Game. A couple of nuggets on returns. Michael Jordan, third among Eastern Conference guards, trailing T-Mac and AI. Yao Ming has surpassed Shaquille O'Neal as the leading vote-getter among centers in the West. Marv, tell Mike that on NBA.com he can vote in Mandarin Chinese. Always makes things interesting.
Yes, heavy vote, Czar, from the local precincts in China, pushing Yao Ming over Shaquille O'Neal.
That will change shortly, very shortly.
Why is that?
Because Shaq is going to make a rush right before the voting deadline. He's rounding back into shape.
I don't think this has anything to do with his game. I think it has to do with...
What does it have to do with?
Popularity of the novelty item. I mean, it's you know, everybody's looking for new and better. I think that's one of the reasons I'm not sure I like the fans having the only say in who starts. I mean, how can we have the most dominant player in the NBA and Shaquille O'Neal not be a starter in the All-Star game?
Well, you two guys are taking a shot at Shaq. That's all I know.
What did he say?
We're taking a shot at Shaq. He was promoting Yao Ming to be the starter.
Oh, I wasn't. I'm
so confused. Where did that come from?
I said Shaq would take over soon.
I didn't say anything. He tells me I'm taking a shot. And Marcus Fizer able to get the roll.
And Doug Collins has got to be exasperated by that. He spoke today that they were not to allow Fizer to drive right and to make him be a passer. They let him take it all the way to the rim with his right hand.
Wizards with a 36-27 lead. Here's Teron Lou. And a quick release over Jamal Crawford. Robinson. Thomas with the rebound. And Stackhouse now in the backcourt. Thomas up front with Brown and Russell. As Kwame Brown spinning his way. Thomas, Brown, and balls flying all over the place. Stackhouse off the head fake, and a foul is called as Jalen Rose got involved with Kwame Brown. Rose called for the foul, does not like the call. 13th foul on Chicago. Michael Jordan now making his way to the scorer's table, and he will check back in. And here's the applause from the crowd. Michael has played 12 minutes, 2 for 5 from the field, 4 points. Michael faced the Bulls only twice last year, missed the other 2 games because of injury. Only the one appearance here in Chicago, and he gets right to it. Last year in the 2 games, he averaged 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. An 8-2 run for Washington. Chandler sets the screen. Rose try to beat the double team, and he's rejected.
You know, sometimes it's just the bounce of the ball, but when you look at rebounds coming into tonight's game, Washington, as we see a little jumper by Teron Lou, Washington was ranked 29th in the NBA. That's last in rebounds. And right now, they are crushing Chicago on the glass, 20-8. 20-8 rebound advantage for the team that's last in the league.
Bill Cartwright takes a timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
A world premiere special event.
You couldn't get work money.
His trusted friend will become...
Pain. It's your body's way of telling you something's wrong. Don't just ignore it. See your doctor and ask about work conditioning systems. WCS has Chicagoland's premier physical therapy and physical work retraining facilities. Our staff of licensed professionals will create a program designed to repair your specific injury and get you back in action. Take control. Live pain-free. WCS. Call WCS now at 708-671-0771.
Comedy, drama, action, romance. AT&T Broadband offers up the entertainment you want to watch on great networks like Comedy Central, giving viewers the shows they love to laugh with. Turner Classic Movies, commercial-free, and over 350 movies each month. Lifetime Movie Network, bringing women the movies they love that reflect their many moods. And TV Land, dedicated to the best of everything television from the past 50 years. Get the entertainment you deserve, only from AT&T Broadband.
Bulls. Nobody actually had the nerve to move in there until rookie Jay Williams this year. Now, I talked to Jay Williams. He said, I've worked for Michael the last 3 years. I did it as an honor, although some people have criticized him for not showing respect to his airness. I talked to Jordan. He said, my only beef with Jay Williams is that he did not come out after his sophomore year, because I would have drafted him instead of Kwame Brown, and we'd be teammates.
Thanks, Craig. Whoa.
That's a pretty bold statement right there. Wow. I'm sure that'll make Kwame feel very confident.
Well, I think Kwame has got the idea as Fizer with a power move draws the foul. I believe Kwame may have received that message a few times in practice sessions. But Jay Williams does not view the move to the old Jordan locker as a slight, and is hoping that Michael does not derive motivation from that. In fact, Williams, in an interview earlier today, called Jordan the greatest player ever about 15 times in a 2-minute session with the press.
Well, I'm a little confused because it's not like there were a bunch of open lockers from what I gather, and that this locker had been set aside for Michael. According to what Jay Williams said, it was the only open locker when he arrived, so he took it.
I've got 2 words for it. Who cares what locker this guy stays in? That's a media-driven obsession. And I'm a part of it.
Is this a shot at Craig Sager?
No, not at him, but just the people writing stories about what locker a guy's in.
Fred Hoiberg, who just checked in, not able to hit. Michael Jordan, and knocked away by Marcus Fizer. Good hustle by Fizer, who was hearing it from the crowd, but he knocked it out of bounds, so the ball back to Washington.
The Bulls right now need more people to make plays like Fizer. Fizer's energetic. He's going at the glass. On the floor for loose balls. Their whole team's got to take upon that personality.
Kwame Brown with 6 on the shot clock. And Kwame Brown has put together a very impressive first half. 4 for 7, 10 points, 5 rebounds. Bulls with only 1 field goal the last 4 minutes. They now go with the backcourt of Hoiberg and Williams. Brown had it knocked away, recovered by Lou. Wizards on the run. The Bulls able to get back. Jordan setting a pick. And a foul is called as Williams switched off to Jordan and is called for the block. So let's check in again with Craig Sager.
One further note, Marv. I wonder if Jeff Van Gundy knows what James Cotton, Larry Kettner, Toby Bailey, and Johnny Taylor all have in common.
Jeff?
I barely even recognize a few of those names. No, Craig, I don't. What do they have in common?
Those 4 all moved into Jordan's locker one time or another in the past 3 years during pre-season, but were cut by the team.
I don't think Jay Williams is being the #1 pick by the Bulls has to worry about that, but those are interesting facts. If Jalen Rose is called for a charge.
I detect some tension here.
Crowd not too excited with the fact that Michael Jordan happened to guess right, jumped on the right-hand side of Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose got a little chuckle out of it. He thinks that Michael just went down as part of an act right there. Rose probably figures he's not big enough to knock Jordan down anyhow.
Marv, there's no tension between Craig and I just, sometimes I wonder why that is even a story by the print media. Why we bring those things up. Now Jay Williams has got to answer for what locker he resides in. I don't know.
Teron Lue. He's had the nice touch, and the Wizards with a 46-28 advantage. Williams a pretty move to draw the foul. The Bulls want a goaltend. They will not get that. But Jay Williams heads to the line.
Washington foul, number 36, is on Thomas.
Tom Thomas.
Second personal.
Call for the foul. There's Tom in his second year out of Syracuse. Coming up next, right here on TNT, Game 2 of our exclusive NBA coverage. It's the Philadelphia 76ers and the Phoenix Suns. Good ball game. How about the Suns at 19-12? They've won 8 of their last 10. Philadelphia tied for second in the Atlantic behind the New Jersey Nets. And tomorrow on ESPN, a doubleheader. The Trailblazers go up against the Celtics, the Nuggets, and the Sonics beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And this Saturday on ABC, it's the Mavericks hosting the Sixers starting at 1 o'clock.
And the best rookie in the league right now is Amari Stoudemire from Phoenix. He's not the most highly publicized, but he's the most effective, efficient player rookie-wise in the NBA.
Michael Jordan called for that elbowing foul, and Amari's come on very strong as of late. Just under 5 remaining in this first half. Wizards with a 17-point lead. Williams spinning. Williams challenging Kwame Brown and is fouled again.
Jay Williams, as Bill Cartwright mentioned, is noticing the difference in size from college players to NBA players. And when he gets in the lane, his decision-making process is just starting to come around, understanding what he can do, what he can get away with, and what he can't. When he gets to the rim like that, Kwame Brown's job is to protect the front of the rim, go after it, try and block it, or send the guard into the ground.
Jay Williams only a 58% free throw shooter. Where do you guys feel his game is at this point? Oh, Laettner took a hit from Chandler, and the foul is called.
I think one thing Jay Williams is already very efficient at is he's a very good high pick and roll player. I think he feels a little bit confined by the triangle offense. I think when they run pick and rolls, he can get lane penetration, but he's going to have to improve his shot selection. I think he's taken too many threes, and I think he's going to have to improve his free throw shooting.
Well, the high pick and roll stuff, or even side pick and roll stuff for that matter, it's an easy thing for a youngster to do. It can be a quick hit or bump, come off the screen. If you're open, you got to lay it or you shoot the thing, or you make a decision as a third option to go back to the guy who set the screen. When you get involved with the intricacies of reading the different defenses and the triangle offense, it takes a little bit longer to make it work for you to get easy baskets out of it. The other thing is, how would Jay Williams be if he was on a very good basketball team? Would we think much more of him right now?
Oh, he'd be a backup, and so we'd be talking about how good a backup he was, I think. And the thing is, I think about the triangles, I think it's not a point guard offense. I think it's a perimeter offense with no set point guard. And that's where Chicago was at its best when Pippen was their point forward, just initiating and then playing the game. But as a pick and roll point guard, it's a very difficult offense to be efficient in.
7 on the shot clock. Williams able to split through. Williams with the floater.
That's what we're talking about. High pick and roll. He drove in the lane. Instead of taking it all the way to draw the foul, he shot the little runner, and that's the adjustment he had to make from college basketball.
I told you he was learning quickly. You doubted me.
I never doubt you. I only disagree with you.
Kwame Brown able to play the deflection. Fred Hoiberg on the rebound. Rose's pass intercepted by Laettner. Lou accelerates. Teron Lou with a gorgeous move. And Teron Lou is 4 for 4 from the field. Danielle Marshall guarded by Christian Laettner. Oh, what a shot by Danielle Marshall. Wizards by 16 as we approach 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Michael Jordan receiving a 2-minute standing ovation when he was introduced to the crowd prior to the game. There's Kwame Brown getting position. And Jordan has played 17 minutes, 3 of 8 from the field. He's hit 3 jumpers, 6 points.
What I like about what Jordan's doing tonight, he's not trying to come out and just score himself. He's just making plays for his teammates, moving the ball, and they're shooting a very, very high percentage because of that.
Rose is fouled by Brown.
A little confusion that time between Michael Jordan and Christian Laettner. They just walked over to each other, acknowledged the fact that they knew they made the mistake. Michael Jordan was forcing the ball down towards the baseline. Laettner thought he was going to bring it to the middle of the floor.
A timeout is called. It's the Wizards 51 and the Bulls 33. And that was game 1 of the 91 NBA Finals, won by the Chicago Bulls in 5.
If you think all batteries are the same, consider this. When the Rocky Mountain Rescue Group needs light to save lives, they trust Duracell. Out there or right here at home. Duracell, trusted everywhere. Still think all batteries are the same? Consider this. When monitoring a patient after open heart surgery, the brand of battery hospitals trust most is Duracell. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
I gotta go potty. Out of order.
Out of order?
Hyundai Santa Fe with America's best warranty. When you solve problems in new ways, you win.
Whether you're shopping, traveling for business, or back at school studying, this new year your family can stay in touch thanks to Verizon Wireless. Get them the America's Choice National Family Share Plan. Now with unlimited night and weekend airtime minutes on up to 4 separate lines, so everyone can share all they want. Plus, hurry and buy one Motorola phone for $29.99 and get a second free, so you can have a family get-together whenever you want. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
Can you hear me now?
Good. USA Today proclaims Barkley is truly must-see TV.
I'll fight anybody for the right amount of money.
Don't miss Listen Up, Charles Barkley, with Ernie Johnson Thursday nights at 7.
We're back with the Wizards leading 51-33 with 2:39 remaining. Let's look at a breakdown in communication. Michael Jordan playing defense right here. His teammate who's playing defense on the potential screener is Christian Laettner. You'll notice that Michael is pointing that he wants to force him down towards the baseline. Laettner is coming up this way as if he's going to step out on the top side. The ball goes towards the baseline. Laettner's supposed to be there waiting for it. He's not. Open lane to the basket. The ensuing foul takes place. You'll see Michael and Laettner look at each other, acknowledge. Laettner points to himself, says, my fault.
But for the Wizards, it has been a very strong first half. 19 for 36 shooting, 53% from the field. The Bulls at 14 of 34. They're at 41%, so a 17-point lead for Washington.
This is a critical 2:39 for the Bulls. They've got to work themselves back to a manageable margin by halftime. You don't want to go down 16, 18, 20 at home. Not with a young team.
Lou and Jordan at the guards. Laettner, Brown, Stackhouse up front off the turnover. Here comes Marshall. Holberg coming from the right wing. 51-37. Wizards.
Let's talk about the implications here, Jeff. Washington right now is the team that is the leader in the 8th last playoff position in the Eastern Conference. But you got 4 or 5 other teams that are chasing Washington, one of which is Chicago. They talk about it on a regular basis. They're only 2 or 3 games behind the Wizards in the standings for that last spot.
And the Bulls want to run. Chandler fed by Williams. That pass slightly off. Jalen Rose on the intercept. Chandler squaring up. Rose with the rebound. Rejected by Laettner. And they'll jump it out.
Well, as the ball goes up in the basket, you see inside position by Rose. Now watch Laettner, hand on ball. That's a clean block. And Rose is on the ground with Lou fighting for the ball. And he's smiling as if to say, why wasn't a foul call? But that's about as good a block as you're going to see.
It's a good block by Laettner. And right now, just looking at the Bulls' body language, particularly the guys on the bench, you just see this blank stare. They've got to get into the game emotionally with more enthusiasm to work their way back into this thing.
This the fear that Chicago head coach Bill Cartwright talked about prior to the game. A night like this, look out, Fred Hoiberg with a good hustle and try to leap over the front row seat and apparently made contact with a fan, and Fred hit the deck and looks to be all right. What an effort by Fred Hoiberg.
Reminds me of the amusement park when you used to throw those baseballs at those little dolls up on the... You never went there, Jeff.
I understand what you're saying.
Knock the dolls.
Nothing at all to do.
Well, it reminded me of the
Why would that remind you of that?
Because the man fell backwards like the little dolls used to fall off the shelf.
So a man who could potentially have gotten hurt. That brings back memories of...
You make light of it.
A carnival?
The dolls got hurt, too.
Coming up on a minute remaining, first half. Good defense by Jordan. Here's Jay Williams. And deflected out, last touch by the Bulls. Coming up on the Verizon Wireless halftime report, Ernie Johnson along with Kenny Smith and Charles Barkley. And they'll be talking with Jason Kidd of the New Jersey Nets. That's halftime.
Both these teams have played 16 games at home thus far and 15 games on the road. This is a big month at home for Washington. They have 9 home games, only 7 away games. For Chicago, only 6 home games this month and 9 away games. And remember, on the road, those are struggling a little bit.
That's that Chicago record at 1-14. The only victory was in the season opener in Boston, then lost 14 in a row. Only the Cavaliers are worse on the road at 1-15. Stackhouse able to drill it. Wizards with a 53-37 lead, just under a half-minute remaining in this first half. Stackhouse has 11. Jordan in a battle with Rose. Shot clock to 6. Danielle Marshall from downtown. Final seconds of the half. Harry Hughes changed his mind. Michael Jordan. Yes! Within tenths of a second remaining in the first half. Marshall. So Michael Jordan with 8 points in the first half. And his first appearance of this season here in Chicago. Kwame Brown with 12 points and 6 rebounds to lead the Wizards. And Kwame is with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Kwame, what effect did it have on you as a teammate to see Michael's ovation for 2 minutes and 8 seconds at the beginning of the game?
Well, I think it gave everybody on our team a good feeling. You know, I thought he was going to cry for a second there, but he didn't. He held on strong. But it's, you know, it's great for him to come in here. I think we come in here one more time. I think that's going to be a very emotional game for everyone too.
You're playing well tonight. Any personal motivation knowing that on the other side of the bench is Eddie Curry, a guy that you used to play against in high school, be matched up with?
Oh yeah, of course. I know they're coming at me, so I want to go back at them.
Great first half.
Thank you.
All right, Craig. Outstanding first half for Kwame Brown. The numbers on Michael Jordan, 19 minutes, 4 for 9 from the field, 8 points. The Wizards shooting 53% in this first half, and they have the commanding lead. Now let's go to our Verizon Wireless halftime report. Here's Ernie.
Thank you, Marvin. It comes to you from Studio.
We've compiled enough evidence to support the contract.
It's no murder weapon.
The only thing more dangerous than a corrupt system.
An undercover officer was murdered. They beat him up. They put a gun to his head and put a bullet through it.
Is the cop who won't give up.
He was there before he died. Tell me that I'm wrong.
Until he uncovers the truth.
You call up my integrity?
Jason Patrick, Ray Liotta, Dark, rated R.
This has got nothing to do with the rules and regulations and everything to do with right and wrong.
Now playing in select theaters everywhere January 10th.
Did they do that on purpose?
It's a vehicle designed for your adventures in reality. The 5-star safety-rated CR-V from Honda.
Watch it my way. Clear. Impressive. Affordable. Thin. Way to go. I love it.
You and 9 friends could win a trip to the big game on January 26th in San Diego. Purchase a Gateway 42-inch plasma TV or any computer system by January 14th, and you're automatically entered. No purchase necessary. See Gateway Store or Gateway.com for details.
By the way, I can do all this with Gateway, a better way.
this, we're in the Windy City, and the Wizards with a 55-37 lead over the Bulls at halftime. Marv Albert, Jeff Van Gundy, the Czar, Mike Fratello, and Czar, an outstanding first half for Washington. They shoot 53% from the field, 21 out of 40, and just killed the Bulls off the boards.
I would think that Doug Collins is really happy with almost every aspect of the game, because not only did they score 55 points, as you mentioned, but they hold Chicago down to 37 points. He got a chance to play 9 players during the first half. They're +7 at the foul line. And then the big thing, rebound advantage to Washington, 26-14.
Yeah, and Chicago's just been outworked. As everyone's mentioned, they've just been dominated on the glass. They've given up 55 points on 53% shooting. And this young team's inconsistency has been mirrored by Tyson Chandler. We talked about him to start the game. 27 points, 18 rebounds, both career highs against Portland. Tonight, first half, 4 points, 1 rebound.
And a look now at the Jeep game summary. Mentioned the 53% outstanding shooting half for the Wizards. Chicago only 15 of 41 at 37%. You see what the Wizards have done off the bench, and that 26-14 advantage on the boards. Wizards have led all the way. They've led by as many as 18 points. And the high man, Kwame Brown with 12, Jerry Stackhouse with 11. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, you're talking before the game that Bill Cartwright has respect for Michael Jordan, but it's not like these love fests. Pretty much the same comments at halftime. He said these guys have been hearing about this for the last 2 days. All it is a big build-up, and then you play the game. Unfortunately, they forget to play the game. They're not guarding anybody. They're not taking anything away. They're giving up too many layups. They're fouling too many people. He's really kind of tired of it and wants the game to start now and play fresh. Marv?
All right, Craig. This is what Cartwright was talking about earlier tonight. This is what he feared. Jalen Rose handling for Chicago. This is Trent Hassel. Well, the Wizards now lead by 16. Cartwright won 3 titles alongside Michael Jordan in his days as a player, as the starting center for Chicago. Here is Hayward.
Brendan Haywood.
Haywood makes the 4-foot, 5-foot jumper, and he's missed like 5 layups that are 6 inches from the rim.
Also removed by Williams at a defensive 3-second call. So that will lead to a technical foul.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I think I know what Violet Palmer was calling. I'm not sure I necessarily agree, because I think that the person who was guarding the outside-most man was outside the lane, and the next defender for Washington was guarding the man who was standing on the low block. If you take a look, Laettner in the low right part of your screen. Stackhouse is outside the lane line. He is not guarding. Laettner's the one they're calling the illegal defense on, saying he's not within arm's length or closely guarding the man on the low post area.
I think Violet again was right.
Very nice, Jeff. Oh, Chandler lost his balance. 1 on the shot clock. Hassel got it off in time. That's a 2. He had a foot on the line. So the Wizards now lead 57-42.
And I like how Jay Williams is extending his defense now. You've got to put pressure on Larry Hughes because, as you said, Mike, he's not a true point guard.
Stackhouse.
Jerry
Stackhouse, 6 of 8 from the field. He has 13 points.
But, you know, Jeff, if Jay Williams is going to extend his defense as Jalen Rose misses the 3-point attempt, then the rest of the players have to extend their defense. It can't be just one guy doing it, extending it. You got to get everybody up and extend it if you're going to do it. And set a tone, set a pace at the defensive end of the floor.
Chandler took a hit, and he and Hayward got involved, and a flagrant foul is indicated by Joe Crawford.
I think Hayward is looking, saying, I grabbed him so he wouldn't fall. That's my interpretation of it.
I don't think that was the case, though. But, let's see.
I don't think he was trying to throw him to the ground. You think that's a flagrant foul?
No, I don't think it's a flagrant foul. And I think it's one of the most, besides the block charge call, I think it's the one call that right now is being missed by our officials more than any other call. I think there's an overreaction. There was one in the Washington game against San Antonio where Eton Thomas went up to block Tim Duncan's shot. They gave him a flagrant foul, and that I didn't think was a flagrant foul. I think it's an overused call now. It's called far too often.
Meanwhile, the Bulls only 7 of 13 at the foul line. Washington up by 16. 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Rose, nicely done. He beat Jordan off the dribble and was able to convert with the scoop. Collins with Larry Hughes and Michael Jordan at the guards. Jerry Stackhouse, Brendan Hayward, Christian Laettner up front. Stackhouse for 3. Jordan with the save. And
that's a backcourt.
Right, the officials looking at each other. Joey Crawford was wondering, was it deflected? It was not, obviously, and it's a backcourt violation.
Well, you see Michael Jordan go in to save the ball right there. He's inbounds when he saves it. The ball up over the top into the backcourt.
An easy call.
Bulls have come out, hit 3 of their first 4 shots. They're down now by 14. They double up on Rose. Williams.
Mark, this is the most aggressive one-on-one defense I've seen Michael Jordan as Jay Williams got knocked up. Michael Jordan's defense tonight has been very aggressive one-on-one. Normally, they don't put him on a top scorer. Tonight, he's got the challenge of Jalen Rose, 9th leading scorer in the league, and he's responded very well defensively.
And normally, Doug Collins goes to Michael and says, you know, something about matchups tonight, who do you feel comfortable guarding? And obviously, this is something that Michael wanted to do, go after Jalen Rose.
Chandler nearly came up with a steal, and a good play was knocked out of bounds by Laettner.
I think when Laettner touched the ball, he had stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
And Chicago's really upped their defensive pressure, extending Washington further out on the floor.
Bulls have come out with some sparks here at the start of the third. They double up on Marshall, and he is fouled. Larry Hughes, Christian Laettner, all over Daniel Marshall. Hughes picks up the foul, and the Bulls are showing some signs after looking passive in the first half, down by as many as 18. Now they isolate Rose against Jordan. Hughes over to help, and Jordan comes up with a steal. It's a 3-on-2. That was not a well-thrown alley-oop.
Well, you know, Larry Hughes was waiting for Hayward to go to the rim. He wanted to lay it in the air. Hayward was waiting for the bounce pass on the ground to catch and finish it off that way. So, again, a little miscommunication there between the two.
Foul on Jay Williams. A non-shooting foul, so Jordan will put it in play. You know, in recent days, the United Center here in Chicago has been part of a farewell tour featuring players from the Bulls championship team. Steve Kerr was here with San Antonio the other night. There's Hayward. Scottie Pippen came in with Portland. And tonight, Michael Jordan makes his return along with 2 other former Bulls, Charles Oakley. We have not seen him yet. And one-time Bulls head coach, Doug Collins. Ronnie Nunn says the other way, and it will be Washington in possession. Now, eventually, Michael Jordan's number will be retired, as will Scottie Pippen's. How about Dennis Rodman, who should be on it here eventually? We know this, no one will ever wear number 99.
Well, that's an interesting question. I don't think his number should be retired. I don't think he played here long enough to have his number retired, but certainly he played well enough during his time here.
And knocked out of bounds. I should say number 91. I don't think anybody will wear number 91 again.
Is Jordan's number retired or not retired right now? What would you say the status is?
There's never been an official ceremony here, has there?
when they did that on his first retirement. They had that ceremony. I'm not sure if they retired his number or just...
Stackhouse with a strong move. Just under 7 remaining in the third quarter. And the Wizards once again have that 18-point lead. Michael Jordan to this point, 4 for 10 from the field. Here's Jerry Stackhouse, who has had the hot hand.
Something incredible is happening to guys everywhere. They're defying gravity. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort whether you shave down or up. An anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a strip with more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. Can your razor do this?
Unbelievable.
Mach 3 Turbo. From Gillette, the best a man can get.
All new, 220 horses, and one more thing.
Samsung.
The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
Sorry about that. Hey, if you're gonna make a collect call, be sure to dial in the center with 1-800-CALL-ATT. Let's show 'em, gang. 1-800-CALL-ATT. Free for you and cheap for them. Watch this. Ladder!
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. And by the all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6 sports sedan.
We're back at the United Center in Chicago. The Wizards up by 18 once again in what has evolved into a very physical game.
Well, it starts out with Jalen Rose after the jump shot, falling back into some of the camera people along the sideline. Then you watch the official, Violet Palmer. She gets a little shot from Marcus Fizer. She goes down. One of the fans feels it as Hoiberg jumps over the top. There's the foul taken on Chandler, and then a screen set on Jay Williams, who was picking up his pressure defense. There is a little bit of hostility here between these two teams.
Guys, I have been so thoroughly confused by the many retirements of Michael Jordan. His number was retired. Our statistician, Ethan Cooperson, just made the point that it was retired back in November of 1994 after his first retirement. There it is, by golly. All right, for more of that, let's go over to Craig Sager.
Well, Marv Scottie Pippen, he made his appearance here recently. They talked about retiring his jersey as well, but he's still playing. It is in the Bulls' interest, and also they've talked about it. Once Scottie does retire, and he will come back to Chicago, they will probably retire his uniform if he wants them to. As for Dennis Rodman, as you know, he's already retired. They have made no plans whatsoever to hang number 99 from the rafters. So Jordan is one of only 3. The other 2, Jerry Sloan, number 4, and Bob Love, number 10.
Yes, Bob Bobine Love, a high score for the Chicago Bulls, late 60s through the mid-70s. Stackhouse has had a magnificent shooting ball game. He is now 8 of 11 from the field, and Washington with its biggest lead of the night. So the Bulls came out strong at the start of the third quarter. Jay Williams missing the layup. The Bulls with a good spurt, but the Wizards back in control. Washington at 14 and 17. They come off a win at home, over the San Antonio Spurs. Laettner, and the hot shooting continues for the Wizards.
And I think you'd have to be very, very pleased with the offensive execution for Washington right now. They know where they want to get the basketball to. They're forcing Chicago into defensive moves and then taking the counters to the moves they're making. It's a real nice job at the offensive end by the Wizards.
8-0 run for Washington. Shot clock down to 5. Marshall. Now the Bulls are not getting good shots. And you can hear the reaction from this crowd. Hughes able to find room on the baseline and is fouled by Chandler.
Again, the defense thinking that the ball is going to get forced down and get help on that side. There was no help on that side, so Larry Hughes sees the opening to the rim. Instead of coming over the top of the screen from the side, he just goes hard baseline, forces Chandler to come over and then the foul.
Larry Hughes. 2 shots.
Well, you can decide which players will be all-star starters. Log on to NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com, and cast your ballot for the 2003 NBA All-Star Game. You can watch the NBA All-Star Game. That's February the 9th from Atlanta, exclusively here on TNT. Eddie Robinson checks back in, replacing Trenton Hassel. Eddie Robinson played 7 minutes in the first half, 1 of 2 from the field, 2 points. Did not appear to be a happy guy when he was called for the bench.
No, he kind of had his own huddle by himself. Joe Crawford, I'm not sure what Joe Crawford's asking for right now, if it's a timeout.
Timeout, I believe, yes.
Maybe he heard 20 seconds. Maybe heard one of the coaches asking one of the players for the timeout.
But the Bulls look puzzled about the call of the timeout.
Joe Crawford looks puzzled. Yeah, Joe looks puzzled right there.
And right now you can't see it, but Donyell Marshall is upset about being taken out early in this half. They've just got to make sure that they get the focus back on the team. And what individuals on young teams, although Donyell Marshall certainly isn't young, is that it's got to be about the team and the result of winning. And if a group is not getting it done, you've got to substitute as a coach and try to find some energy. It just doesn't work.
I think you learn a lot about teams and a lot about the interaction when you watch timeouts, as we're able to do in our broadcast. You look across, you watch people, what the interaction is, what, who's watching what the coach has to say, who separates himself, goes down to the end, doesn't want to be part of it. That's all indicative of what's going on in the player's mind.
And also, who reacts well to a teammate's positive play? You've got to take pride in the fact of other people succeeding. It can't just all be about you.
Jalen Rose, and the Bulls have missed their last 6 shot attempts. Without a field goal the last 4.5 minutes. Hughes, yes. 10 straight points for the Wizards. Here's Tyson Chandler. And this has become just a horrendous performance by the Chicago Bulls, and you can hear this crowd react. Stackhouse. It's a 25-point lead for Washington.
What you learn very quickly when you come to play here in Chicago, because of the history, because of tradition. And here's the long outlet pass for Jerry Stackhouse on the fast break.
And Stackhouse sent flying. He's shaken up.
Yeah, what you find out very quickly is because the standards were set so high, and the majority of these fans were part of those years they won the championships. It's the same as Green Bay in football, what they come to expect. The New York Yankees in baseball, the people want the players to give them that effort. They want another championship eventually. Not that this group is ready for it right now, but they're used to seeing outstanding basketball here.
And I think most fans are patient with rebuilding projects if they're getting consistent effort. Chicago's been inconsistent tonight in their effort, being crushed on the boards, too easy of shots. And frankly, I don't think fans I don't think we're the only ones that look at the interaction of teammate to teammate and coach to teammate. You can't be happy if you're looking over at that bench and seeing a very down team right now.
And it's the one sport where you do have that vantage point because the players are right out there. And you don't see it in baseball because they're obviously hitting the dugout. It's tough along the football sideline of the National Hockey League.
Chicago ball.
On the turnover, the ball back to Chicago. A 13-0 run for the Wizards. Rose being hounded by Jordan, and then Laettner going for the block, called for the foul.
Michael Jordan has Jalen Rose in a 4 for 14 night from the floor right now in 33 minutes, and he is working at the defensive end of the floor. He's denying him right there. He denies once again, coming back to try and get the basketball the other way. Then he's trying to fight over the screen right there, chasing Jalen Rose into the next help defender.
And what I like about it is it shows his teammates his competitiveness. Up 27 with 3 to go in the third. He could easily take a possession off defensively. He's playing every possession. And I think when I look at Jordan, I think the greatest drop-off has been defensively in his game because he hasn't been able to play people as strong one-on-one as the Wizards throw it out. But tonight, he looks like he's back to playing that hard Doberman type of defense that the Chicago fans are accustomed to seeing.
And the Bulls without any points the last 6.5 minutes. They've been outscored here in the third, 17-8. You know, there were some quotes in the local papers from Jalen Rose on the subject of Michael Jordan, and you wonder if that played into Michael's motivation as Fizer is not able to hit. Rebounded by Curry, and a foul is called on the Bulls. It's on Eddie Curry. Out of all the Bulls, only Rose would even slightly acknowledge the decline of Michael Jordan. That's because he says he grew up idolizing him and then did not appreciate all the things that Michael did to the Pacers. Jordan was a member of the Pacers, and he said, you know, he's not winning 72 games. He's not the Michael Jordan that I grew up watching. And anytime you see a legend, whether he has 2 points or 20 points, everybody still likes the legend. And then he went on to say some very nice things about Michael. But as you know, Jeff, Michael can find something to play with all game to motivate.
Well, and I think that's why you always ask your team as a coach to watch what they say. No need to give your opponent a competitive advantage, and I know I did that, and I tried to keep my mouth shut after that.
Here's Rose, rejected by Laettner, and Christian Laettner able to come over after Rose was able to beat Jordan off the dribble. And it's not that Jalen Rose did not speak the truth, but Michael is able to turn it in his favor. Timeout is called with 2:54 remaining in this third quarter, and the Wizards with a 73-45 lead. Once again, we go down memory lane. The 1992 NBA Finals Game 1 against the Trailblazers. Michael was on a tear from downtown. He could not believe it.
Tracy McGrady takes it back in the lane, serves it on the right.
What do you call a sports sedan? That's more sports than sedan. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
My new baby's name is Max. He's waking up about now. My business partner's name is Joe.
This has everything you're looking for. It has
I see him more than I see Max. It's also my birthday. And I wouldn't mind working from home today.
Free double memory on select notebooks only at your Gateway store. Gateway 400S notebook PCs feature Intel Pentium 4 processors.
For the last 2 years, I've had to do business travel alone. Yeah, due to the airline's last-minute high fares, we can't afford to bring Tommy along.
Never more than $2.99 one way. Tommy can come along.
Someday, Tommy. Someday. All right?
ATA, an honestly different airline.
January 5th on USA Network, the breakthrough hit of the summer returns.
Wake up!
Based on characters from the Stephen King novel.
You're the guy that sees things.
The Dead Zone is back for an all-new season.
Do you believe in fate, Johnny?
Don't miss the gripping season premiere of The Dead Zone. New season premiere Sunday, January 5th at 10 on USA.
Well, the Washington Wizards rolling here against the Chicago Bulls with just under 3 to go in the third quarter. 4 lucky Bulls fans seated on the TNT fan bench. Winners were randomly selected by the Chicago Bulls front office. The only way to watch the NBA on Thursdays is with tickets or on TNT. Throughout the night, we have been showing some of Michael's most dazzling performances. We'll flash back to April 16th, 1987 against Mike Fratello's Atlanta Hawks. There's the czar, very youthful-looking czar.
Willis Reed next to me on the side, my assistant.
However, this a night that saw Michael pour home 61 points on 22 of 38 from the field.
61, I don't think Mike Fratello said it didn't happen. We're seeing it here. Dunk after dunk. Where is the defense? That was a tough matchup. Randy Whitman isolated one-on-one against Michael Jordan.
My stopper.
Double team.
I had my stopper on Randy Whitman.
Are you still refuting it, that it didn't happen?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that was the results of those games.
We edited you into the tape. Marcus Fizer on the tip, and finally the Bulls are able to score. The man is in denial.
You have to give Mike a lot of credit for disputing something that is factual. His stubbornness, no bounds.
Look, I see Frank Sinatra doing commercials for the NBA right now, so why couldn't I be edited into the film? I don't understand.
It's tape.
It's tape, St. Louis.
I'll tell you why, because we wouldn't waste the money to edit you into it.
That's true.
It's simple, just admit it. 61 against Randy Whitman.
All right, here's another look. There is a youthful looking czar. This, what, 35 years ago?
You know, I really think that game plan, I think Willis Reed was in charge of that game, the defensive game plan that particular night.
I think you have to blame someone.
I think Will had the defense.
You know, we should blame Randy Whitman. That was a fair matchup. He's just got to get into him a little bit harder, use his athleticism, use his quickness.
Deny the basketball.
That's
Don't
right.
let him touch it. Can't score if he can't touch it.
Randy was Minnesota. I'm disappointed, you know.
We'll have a chance to chat with Willis Reed, an executive with the New Jersey Nets. We'll be at the Sacramento, New Jersey game next week.
Yes, we'll bring that up.
And we'll check out things with Willis. Eddie Curry with the rebound and a foul. The Bulls went 7 minutes without a score before that bucket just moments ago. Hayward is called on a foul, and now Curry to the line.
For the Bulls, Eddie Curry, 2 shots.
4 of 18 from the field for the Bulls. They've turned it over 3 times, only 10 points. And the free throw shooting has been just awful for Chicago. They're now 7 of 16 from the line. Curry just a 57% free throw shooter.
It's difficult to win. Now, this game's a blowout, but it's difficult to win close games when a lot of your main players, Jay Williams being one, aren't efficient from the free throw line. There's a number of Bulls who don't shoot the ball particularly well from that area.
As a team, they are only 70% at the line. Jordan for 3. Confusion on the part of teammates Marcus Fizer and Eddie Robinson, so the Wizards maintain possession. Washington gets the new shot clock. Jordan will put it in play. Stackhouse to the reverse.
Where is the next defensive player coming up to make a rotation? Jordan goes for the steal. Jalen Rose misses the jumper. They're out running again.
Jalen Rose 4 for 17 from the floor. Stackhouse. Yes. 23 points for Stackhouse. He has been on fire. 10 of 14 from the field. And you can hear the boos from this crowd. We're headed to extensive garbage time. Actually, we're there. 79-48, Washington.
Congratulations! You've launched the pink slip virus. Your office is now infected. They'll soon trace it back to you. Good luck finding a new job.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines for just $39 to $99 each way when you purchase by January 20th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Sorry about that. Hey, if you're gonna make a collect call, be sure to dial to the center, 1-800-CALL-ATT. Let's show 'em, gang. 1-800-CALL-ATT. Free for you and cheap for them. Watch this. Ladder!
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Bill Cartwright and his staff, Bill Berry, Pete Myers, Bob Thornton, trying to figure out what is going on here.
Well, they're just not playing well, but again, when adversity hits, you can tell a lot about a team. Again, at that timeout, their players that weren't in the game were all over the place. Some sitting on the bench, some showing their discontent by staying away from the huddle. You've just got to be together all the time.
Toughest times that you go through when you're down big in a game, the other team is playing very, very well. You kind of tend to splinter off, and you've got to kind of have somebody that, whether it's the head coach, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's a leader internally for the team, that's got to get a hold of the guy and say, hey, look, let's get everybody in here right now. And the question probably for Chicago is, who truly is the leader of this team? Because Jay Williams was used to being the leader at Duke, but he defers to a guy like Jalen Rose. So those are some of the questions that have to be answered.
Marcus Fizer with the bucket, and he was fouled. Larry Hughes called for the foul.
They were trying to take away Fizer's right hand, as you mentioned earlier, Jeff. Take that right hand away. So finally, he crosses over, goes left, and finds a seam for the finish.
And Mike, to get back to your point about leadership, I think your leadership always starts on your team from your head coach, but then your best players are always going to lead you in a positive direction or a negative direction. And so Jalen Rose is certainly their best player, and he's going to have to take that leadership mantle on as we see a great move by Stackhouse and a possible three-point play. You see Stackhouse catch the ball here at the elbow area, fakes using the screen by Haywood, drives away, no help by Chicago, fouling back, Jordan Lake, up and in.
Jerry Stackhouse with 25 points, 14 of the 25 here in the third quarter. He has single-handedly outscored the Bulls in this third quarter. He has 15 now in the third. The Bulls with only 13 points. Under a minute remaining in the third quarter. Wizards 82 and the Bulls 51. That's a three-point attempt by Crawford. Robinson. Eddie Robinson. And the Wizards now lead 82-53. The season low for the Bulls. Backdoor pass intended for Stackhouse. They had a 69-point game and a loss to the Celtics back on November the 6th. And right here, Bill Cartwright looking at 53 points.
Larry Hughes' heel came about as close as you can come to touching that sideline without actually doing it.
Stackhouse off the hesitation dribble. 20 seconds remaining in the third. Al Crawford working the clock down. Rose for three. Jalen Rose able to knock down the three. 4 seconds to go in the quarter. Stackhouse lost it. Rose with an opportunity. Rejected from behind by Stackhouse.
That's the end of the third quarter.
After three, here in Chicago, Wizards outscore the Bulls 27-19 in the third and lead 82-56. Jerry Stackhouse with 15 of his game high, 26 in the third quarter. We'll be back in the Windy City in just a moment.
Sorry about that. Hey, if you're gonna make a collect call, be sure to dial to the center, 1-800-CALL-ATT. Let's show 'em, gang. 1-800-CALL-ATT. Free for you and cheap for them. Watch this. Ladder!
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
I wonder if I can stop my rage. Want to grow? The calcium in milk helps.
Doesn't Miller Lite taste great?
Yeah, but I drink it because it's less filling.
Great taste.
Less filling! Great taste! Less filling! Great taste! Less filling!
Oh man, now that would make a great commercial. Who wouldn't want to watch that?
Life is best told over a great tasting Miller Lite at a place called Miller Time.
Let's make out.
All new, 220 horses, and one more thing. The all-new 220 horsepower Mazda 6.
Just blaze. What we're gonna do right here is throw it way back. All the way back in time. Old school is now in session. Go freestyle. Get live. NBA Live 2003. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Daddy, what are you doing?
Paying bills?
You sure got a lot of bills.
Yeah.
You know, Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger made Dave's way. A hot baked potato, crispy chicken nuggets, even our chili is just 99 cents every day on Wendy's Super Value menu.
Phil, help. You can take this back.
Hey, isn't this your brother's?
The Super Value menu at Wendy's, the best 99 cents you can spend.
Back at the United Center, this a familiar sight here in Chicago.
Yeah, and I think Jordan is about to dunk on one of those Hawks for those 61 points. I think that was...
I don't know if there are any dunks.
Picture taken right there. Randy Whitman, hello.
I don't think there were any dunks that night. All dunks.
We already saw like 4 dunks on different people in that game.
It's amazing how you can edit stuff in.
Michael Jordan, 30 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and a terrific defensive job on Jalen Rose. Now Rose being played by Stackhouse. As this fourth quarter gets underway, Fizer on the move, and a foul is called. It is on Kwame Brown.
Washington foul.
And I think the best thing you can say about Jordan tonight is he played to win. He came out, he moved the ball, he guarded, he rebounded. He didn't try to put his stamp on it with just scoring. He played to win, and that's what NBA basketball should be all about.
And that's what stars are about, Jeff. Let's face it, as we see the drive down the lane and the nice bounce for Jalen Rose. He'll go to the line to try and complete the three-point play. Stars understand the difference between when it's time to take over and when it's time to get other players involved. And when Michael Jordan saw that Stackhouse had it going from the beginning of the game, Michael played a different role tonight. Stackhouse got on the roll early on. Michael knew he had his hands full trying to shut down Jalen Rose, so he put a lot of energy and effort into the defensive end of the floor, and then was a distributor of the basketball and let Stackhouse take over at the offensive end.
All these players are talented enough to put up numbers. Numbers are important to trying to win, but playing to win is such an intangible that few have mastered.
Tom Thomas, he was looking for a foul call. A little skip dribble by Jamal Crawford. And Curry is fouled by Thomas.
Skip dribble?
Yes. How would you describe it?
Well, I don't know. Jeff, did you do a lot of skip dribble drills in practice?
I did a lot of stumble drills. I couldn't go up that high to skip. Yeah.
Crossover, reverse dribble, chain, skip dribble.
Crossover or a reverse is a different maneuver. But first of all, at Nazareth, they did not allow the skip dribble.
Skip dribble.
We weren't talented enough to do skip dribbles, but as a pop quiz, what NBA player nickname was Skip? Give me one.
Skip Wise, I remember.
No, Skip to my Lou, Rafer Alston. He mastered the skip dribble in the neighborhoods of New York. You failed once again.
And Jeff verifying the skip dribble.
Yes.
As Jerry Stackhouse connects again. 28 points for Stackhouse, 12 for 17 from the field. Jeff, do you find that the Czar is about 4 seconds off? A three for Jalen Rose. It's kind of like a delayed tape type thing.
He's been certainly thrown off by the visual 61-point onslaught by Michael Jordan.
The slide began at that point.
Well, I took my beating of 51 like a man. Now he's trying to not accept responsibility for his defensive game plan.
Shot clock at 1. Kwame Brown fires it up. Here comes Crawford. Fizer. The Bulls shooting 35% for the night. They're 24 for 69, while the Wizards consistently have had the touch. They're at 53%. Here's Brown. Kwame Brown has been outstanding. That's 14 points for Kwame, along with 8 rebounds. 86-61, Washington. Crawford. And back comes Hughes. Ron Lue looking over at Doug Collins and resets.
Going into his version of the 4 corners right now. Okay, bring it back out, run that clock down, get a good shot.
Stackhouse. Last touch by Lue. And an official timeout is called. 3 minutes gone by in the 4th. It is all Washington.
Hey, Bill, I need to talk to you.
What is it, you and Karen break up?
No, that's not it.
Then what?
You remember how we decided that we'd have more money to buy Bud Light if we got a 3rd roommate?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can take her anymore.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Charge.
Make it a Bud Light.
My wife bought the same one. Didn't fit. I love it, but the kids are allergic. Rashy.
How can I help you?
I'd like to return this.
No problem.
Okay, the thing is...
Sir, we'll take it back.
So I don't need it.
Nope.
Make returns, not excuses. Because at Circuit City, we offer easy, no-hassle returns and exchanges. Circuit City, we're with you.
We're moving to Europe. Different plugs. You don't need it, but that's good.
One weekend, 3 nights of drama.
George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, for the first time on network television. The Perfect Storm, 3 nights in a row. Starting Friday, January 10th at 8, only on TNT. We know drama.
Dear son, as much as I wanted to stop you from leaving, I understand your decision. Life can be hard, and it's tough to make it on your own. I want you to know that you are always welcome to come back. I wait with open arms. Love, Jesus.
A message from Hillside Baptist Church. Visit us at hillsidebaptistil.org.
Never before has an American sailor drawn so much attention to his sport. Dennis Conner, captain of the Stars and Stripes and 4-time winner of the America's Cup, faces off against 6 European and 2 American teams in this year's Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger races for the America's Cup, only on OLN. Over 300 hours of intense, unprecedented coverage. The Louis Vuitton Cup, September 30th through January 15th, live 9 to 11 nightly, Eastern and Pacific, only on OLN Adventure TV.
The Wizards have led all the way. They've led by as many as 31, now up by 25 points. Here's tonight's Bud Light headlines. Check around the NBA. The Boston Celtics sale was approved just yesterday, as mentioned earlier. Yao Ming now leads Shaquille O'Neal in the All-Star voting for the center position in the West. Lauren Wood suspended by the Timberwolves for what they say is conduct detrimental to the team, and that Toronto Raptors slide continues. They lost their 8th in a row last night at Madison Square Garden, losing to the Knicks, and they have now dropped 12 of the last 13 they've been playing recently without Vince Carter and Antonio Davis. Here is Rose. Eight and a half remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Wizards with an 86-61 advantage. Ryan Russell had it stolen by Jalen Rose. Russell thought he was pushed, thought it was fouled. Now the Bulls putting some light pressure on as Hughes starts back.
Yeah, Michael said something to Russell after the basket, basically saying, like, we're not giving him anything easy tonight. And Russell acknowledged the fact that he didn't intend to, but he felt there might have been a little contact.
Well, I think it goes right back to what we're talking about, leadership. If a coach says that to a player after a bad play like that, there may be a different response, a negative response. If Michael Jordan makes that comment, it's probably accepted a lot easier.
Here's Crawford way off with that three-point attempt.
And the Bulls staff can't be happy with that shot selection. Just because you're open, I don't know if you realize that he was open because he was 4 feet behind the three-point line and hasn't come close on his last 3 shots.
Thomas. Fizer set it up with the crossover. Marcus Fizer with 10 points. Washington Wizards on their way to their 15th win, which would bring them within 2 games of the 500 mark. Come off a good one in Washington the other night as they knocked off San Antonio, led by Jerry Stackhouse, 25 points. And Stackhouse with an excellent game here tonight. Crawford. And it's not out of bounds. Last touch by the Wizards.
Talking to Doug Collins earlier today. Jeff, you remember that, don't you?
Yeah, we were there.
Okay. Some people may not have been there earlier today, but Doug was mentioned. We talked about the 8th playoff position and how tough it was going to be for whoever winds up. And his point was that they have not been able to, as Jalen Rose hits another jumper, been able to string 4, 5, 6 wins in a row to separate themselves. They win 2, win 3, then lose 2. Win 1, lose 1. Win 2, lose 2. That's how it's gone for them.
Larry Hughes putting a move on Eddie Robinson. We have 6.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Here's Thomas. It counts, and the foul. And right here, we're going to send it back to our studios in Atlanta. We'll check in with Ernie Johnson. Ernie?
Yeah, Marv, a reminder that Game 2 of our doubleheader features the Philadelphia 76ers and Phoenix Suns, a couple of teams at 19 and 12. Great chance to see Amari Stoudemire, the high schooler, who's had a sensational start to his NBA career. Also tonight, the Dallas Mavericks are home against the LA Clippers, and in the second period, everything going Dallas's way. Look at Rafe and the friends cutting through the paint to jam that one down. 47-31 at the break. Let us go back to Chicago, Mark.
All right, thanks, Ernie. On the subject of high schoolers, Tyson Chandler has checked back in. Disappointing performance, though, by Chandler. Fizer not able to hit. Put home. It counts in a foul. Eddie Robinson with the bucket on a putback. Tyson Chandler the other night in the win over Portland that stopped the Blazers' 8-game win streak. Went 9 for 16, 27 points, 18 rebounds, but very quiet here this evening.
Well, those are the nights that you see him play and you say to yourself, you know what, we really have a great young talent here. What the hope is, as you see the follow-up tip in, the hope is that you would see more consistency from him. You know, a couple straight nights in a row where he's producing points and rebounds.
Well, he said he didn't want to go through the process of having to wait to be a productive player. Unfortunately, that's usually the process. You go, you have some good nights, you have some bad nights as a young player, and you just got to keep fighting.
Jalen Rose with the lob, but Eddie Robinson could not convert.
I tell you, if that basket would have gone in, I think Doug Collins may have just called the timeout at that point because the game would have been back down to 16 with 5:40 remaining.
And he's putting Stackhouse back in to try to get some offense on the floor so they don't go through a long drought.
And the foul is called away from the ball. It is on Rose. That is his fourth, and here comes Stackhouse. Crowd is chanting for Michael Jordan.
Chicago.
Bulls take a timeout. 5.5 remaining in the fourth.
We get explorers coming through here all day long. No doubt. They keep coming in, leaving, coming in. Non-stop.
Yeah, check this out.
I can dig it.
The 2003 Ford Explorer.
That third row seat folding down, you get in there, plenty of room. After you buff it, it's like butter.
It's been the best-selling SUV for 11 years.
I got a feeling we're going to be washing a lot more, man. And break time is over, fellas.
The 2003 Ford Explorer. Popularity has no boundaries.
Hey, are you ready for an unbelievable experience? Yeah, you're going where there is no up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort, whether you shave down or up. An anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a strip with more lubrication. So even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. Can your razor do this? Mach 3 Turbo. From Gillette, the best a man can get.
Philadelphia Eagle Donovan McNabb and his mom brought Jim Gilbert Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger. With loads of hearty sirloin burgers to fill him up right. He didn't leave a scrap.
Rodney King should have got beat for driving drunk and being grown in a Hyundai.
See what the buzz is all about.
Your father wouldn't put up with this mess. Do I look like my father?
Yeah, you do, man.
And the nose.
Barbershop on a special edition DVD. Buy or rent it today.
Are you a real fan? Want to see the replay? Want to be courtside? Have you ever been in a locker room? Need a photo? Need a score? When is game time? Did you catch that? Looking for some stuff? Then log on to NBA.com and check out all your favorite NBA apparel. To shop, log on to NBA.com or America Online keyword NBA.com. What are you doing? Experience the NBA online. NBA.com.
This weekend, all the drama is on TNT. Friday night at 8, The Shawshank Redemption. Saturday night at 8, The Devil's Advocate. And Sunday night at 8, Outbreak. All the drama starts this weekend on TNT.
One weekend, 3 nights of drama. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, for the first time on network television. The Perfect Storm, 3 nights in a row. Starting Friday, January 10th at 8, only on TNT. We know drama.
Happy New Year, and a chance for all of us to get off to a fresh start. Here are a couple of New Year's resolutions we found out before the game. Marcus Fizer, remember he came into camp out of shape and sulked when he was benched for 8 games? He says, I want to get along better with my teammates. Daniel Marshall says, I want to call my mom every day back home in Reading, Pennsylvania. As for the other side, Charles Oakley said, I'm not getting enough minutes. I'm getting a spare tire. I need to cut out junk food. And Michael Jordan, none. He says, I've never been able to keep him past the 3rd day. Marv?
Czar, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I'm not speaking to you anymore.
My New Year's resolution is to try and convince Jeff, our TNT staff, that Lazar is truly a confused, misunderstood individual, and there's really nothing personal in his behavior. Thomas with the rebound on the miss by Fizer. In other words, be kind.
Jeff, anything, Jeff?
My mom said if I can't speak nicely, not say anything at all, I'm going to heed her advice and say nothing at all.
What a cop-out.
Well, you're consistent with this.
Why? Why? I can't. Oh, I didn't know. That was pretty good.
That's like a little late shot.
I didn't understand that.
At the buzzer, a late shot at the buzzer.
That beats the shot clock.
Just under 5 remaining in the 4th. Fizer off the fake. So the Bulls with a mini run here in the 4th quarter. It's 91-73. The final score will not indicate what took place here tonight. Wizards have led by as many as 31. And Czar, as you pointed out, in fact, you make some of your best comments during our commercial breaks. Lou is rejected and foul. That Doug Collins was getting ready to reinsert Michael Jordan.
He went down, talked to Michael. Michael has ice on both knees, and it was a point where the game had come down from 26, 25, down to 22, 21. Went down and talked to Michael. I saw Michael start to reach for the tape. And I think the crowd, if you listen right now, they want to see Michael come back in and play a little more time here at the end of the game. But he's been sitting for a while. He's had ice on both knees for quite a while. But Michael actually started to reach down, and just at that point, Washington hit a basket, and Doug turned and kind of walked back away again. So I think he felt a little more comfortable at that point.
Those ice packs on the knees are like Red Auerbach's victory cigar. You don't want to go to him too early.
Jalen Rose has picked up his game since Michael Jordan sat down. Jordan had done a very nice job defensively on Rose, who has scored 11 in this 4th quarter. And it's a goaltend. So the basket will count. Tyronn Lue with 12 points. Fizer coming up next here on TNT. Game 2 of our exclusive NBA coverage. Sixers take on the Phoenix Suns. Tomorrow on ESPN, it's a doubleheader. The Trailblazers and the Celtics, the Nuggets, go up against the Sonics. That'll start at 7:30 Eastern Time. And then Saturday on ABC, it's the Mavericks hosting the Sixers starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Foul is called. Kwame Brown taking a shot above the right eye. Brown to the line. Trenton Hassel called for the foul.
Trailblazers playing some outstanding basketball as of late. 8 out of the last 10 games, wins for the Trailblazers.
Portland 18 and 12. They are 3rd in the Pacific. You can hear in the background the chant for Michael Jordan.
Well, then why did Mike Fratello just raise his hand like we want Mike, and Mike Fratello's raising his hand like I'm right here? That's just bad.
Lazar acknowledging the chant. Fizer putting moves on Thomas and rejected. Kwame Brown felt he was pushed, but he stepped out of bounds, according to Elvira Palmer.
Bill Cartwright was very happy with Marcus Fizer as far as when he came back from the injury. He was overweight. He was trying to work himself back into shape. And he said Fizer, when he felt he was ready, and we still did not feel he was ready, still was terrific with the team, had a great attitude about the whole thing, understood that as soon as they felt, meaning the staff, felt he had his weight back down to where it should be, that he would get his minutes. And he has really played well for them over the last couple of weeks.
12 points, 8 rebounds tonight, although he has not shot well. Thomas getting position, rejected from behind by Chandler. Shot clock is down to 4, down to 3. And it's a 24-second violation.
And Tyrone Lue, who's shooting 5 for 6, just took the 24-second violation instead of taking a tough shot. Oh, man. Oh,
he didn't want to hoist it up
he
there.
didn't want that, no.
Timeout call, 2:37 remaining, fourth quarter.
One weekend, 3 nights of drama. George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, for the first time on network television. The Perfect Storm, 3 nights in a row. Starting Friday, January 10th at 8, only on TNT. We know drama.
The world is spinning round and round. It's got me up. It's got me down. I'm not sitting around. I'm not waiting. I'm not sitting.
At AT&T Broadband, we can turn you on to loads of TV channels. And with our interactive program guide, you can always find what you want to watch easily. Discover great movies, lots of sports, travel, news, exciting entertainment, everything you're looking for. Call today and get a great deal on AT&T digital cable. AT&T Broadband, cable television, high-speed cable internet, digital phone service. The power of 3.
Excuse me, do you have this movie in stock?
Oh, yeah. I know this one. This is the one with the guy. He's getting chased by the cops, and he almost gets caught, but he throws that bitch.
You don't have this movie, do you?
We haven't had this one in weeks.
There's a better way. With in-demand pay-per-view on AT&T Digital Cable, our selections are always available. Just point, pick, and enjoy the best movies, sports, and events.
How about this one?
Nope, not here.
This one?
Nope. In-demand pay-per-view from AT&T Broadband. It's the better way.
The America West Arena in Phoenix for tonight. The Phoenix Suns will take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Great offensive stars on display. The Suns and Sixers next. Right now, back to Marv Albert in Chicago. All right, thanks, Kevin. Kevin will have it for you along with Danny Ainge, John Thompson, Allen Iverson, averaging just over 27 per game, second in scoring behind Tracy McGrady. You're looking at the Philadelphia 76er offense led by Iverson and Keith Van Horn. Phoenix Suns playing very well. They're 13-3 at home, 19-12 on the season. They're right behind the Sacramento Kings in that Pacific Division.
Yeah, they, I think, are surprising a lot of people in Phoenix. They've done an excellent job. They've got major contributions from the youngster, Amari Stoudemire. The backcourt seems to have settled into place now with Hardaway and Marbury, and obviously Shawn Marion having a terrific season for them.
I think Marbury's playing the best he's played in a couple of years, playing like a true point guard, but still scoring the ball, but he's thinking pass first.
Ryan Cardinal checking in for the first time for the Wizards. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Kwame Brown, John Thomas.
John Thomas.
And apparently a problem with the clock. The 24-second clock did not move.
Joe Crawford's point was, why did you stop the clock after the made basket? Because it's not under 2 minutes. So it's 2:02 on the clock. It should run to the 2-minute mark. Then on the basket after that, you stop the clock.
And again, the chant of we want Michael, but it will not happen with 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter and a 99-75 Wizard lead. Michael Jordan receiving a standing ovation from this crowd for over 2 minutes in the pregame introduction. Here's Crawford firing again from downtown. Brian Cardinal with the rebound. Cardinal playing only his 5th game as a member of the Wizards, a second-year man out of Purdue. That's Cardinal with it. Brown with a beautiful move going right at Chandler.
Got the shot blocker up in the air, showed the ball, stepped back underneath, switched hands to his left side, and then finished it off. A very, very nice move that time by the youngster, Kwame Brown.
And the foul on Brown. Lonnie Baxter, the rookie out of Maryland, has come on for Chicago. A cameo here for Lonnie.
Well, Kwame's obviously had his last two shots affected by the length of Chandler. Shows him the ball, steps through, nice up and under.
And he's been hit with a technical and continued the argument. It was Violet Palmer who beat him up, and then Kwame said something to Joe Crawford, which is not a wise move, and he's been hit with a second technical foul, so he has been ejected here with 1:19 to go.
Well, it started on his low post defense. He didn't think it was a good call. He was fronting the post. He got called for the foul, and you know, I just
No, go ahead. Don't leave us hanging here.
You want to see young players play every minute. So he's playing hard, full 48 minutes, and I just think it's an overreaction to throw a guy out because he's being competitive. He was into the game, just walked away, let it go.
Doug Collins upset that Kwame was ejected. Michael Jordan kind of enjoyed the moment. Kwame Brown with 20 points, 12 rebounds, one of his best games as a pro. That equals a career high. Had that 20-point game that we discussed earlier that was back in late October against the Celtics.
It's tough from here, but I think what Doug Collins was saying to Joe Crawford was that Kwame Brown was just trying to talk to you. And at that moment, Joe Crawford didn't want to hear Kwame's explanation, but as you mentioned, I think it's not bad to let a guy say what he wants to say. I mean, if he's not going off and using profanities and things like that, well, why don't you express yourself?
Exactly, and I think the Wizards are happy to see the fire in Kwame Brown. I mean, they've been asking for that type of intensity and passion and commitment, and he played a good game tonight. Unfortunately, had to end with an ejection.
Bobby Simmons, who just checked in, and he is rejected and fouled. Bobby Simmons was waived earlier in the season. He's a second-year man out of DePaul, but then with Washington going through some injuries, in particular Jared Jeffries, Simmons was re-signed, and he's back with the team.
Yeah, coming from the NBDL, second NBDL player to be brought up. Michael Wilkes, point guard at Atlanta, was the first one, and they liked him last year before he was traded in the Rip Hamilton trade, and then he got cut by Detroit, and they liked his low post ability.
Word on Juan Dixon has been out with an elbow injury. He expects to be cleared to practice at full speed early next week. And Juan Dixon was going very well before he suffered that injury. Coming up next right here on TNT, it's game 2 of our exclusive NBA coverage. The 76ers going up against the Suns. Off the steal, Lonnie Baxter gets on the score sheet. Ron Lue couldn't believe it. He thought he was hit. Wizards now lead 103-80 as we come up on a half minute remaining in the game. Chandler called for the foul on Simmons. A reminder, TNT is the exclusive home for the 2003 NBA All-Star Game. That'll be February the 9th at Phillips in Atlanta. We'll have the entire All-Star weekend. The Chicago Bulls will drop to a record of 11-21. They come off that win over Portland. This will be 4 defeats in the last 5 games. It has been a difficult schedule, though. The losses to New Jersey, Minnesota, and San Antonio coming into tonight, and a win over the Blazers. They also had to win over Indiana at home. Lonnie Baxter.
Mark, we mentioned before that Chicago, one of the teams chasing that 8th playoff position, but when you think about some of the other teams, I've seen Miami a number of times, Jeff, obviously, you've seen New York a number of times. Here we have Washington. They're not ready to make that 8th playoff spot, particularly the way they played this evening.
No, I think certainly Washington's in the best position right now, but I think New York has started to play very, very well since Sprewell's been back. Miami's on a great run, and Milwaukee, I think, may have the most offensive firepower of all those teams.
And when you look at the records, Atlanta is right there with those other teams if you're going to base it on record alone.
But you have to really question if they're going to play enough defense and take care of the ball well enough to make a serious push. Their defensive effort has to improve, and improve drastically for them to become a good team.
Final seconds of the game. The Wizards will go to 15 and 17. Michael Jordan played 30 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in his first of 2 visits back here in Chicago. The Wizards end up shooting 53%, the Bulls at 36%. The Wizards win it 107 to 82. Jerry Stackhouse, high point man with 28, had the hot hand on 12 of 18 shooting. Jalen Rose finished with 26, but the story tonight, number 23, back here in Chicago in the uniform of the Washington Wizards. Let's go to Craig with Michael.
Well, Michael, you said you'd always be a Chicago player. This is your home. What was your reaction to the fans, the 2-minute ovation, and yelling, "We want Mike"?
I'm very, very appreciative. I mean, I got much love for the fans here in Chicago, and they helped me grow. And it's very tough playing in front of them because I want to win. I just don't like beating them, obviously, but they showed me the highest regard tonight and over my years, so I'm very appreciative of that.
Although you didn't go back into the game, it's okay because Mike Fratello thought they were yelling, "We want Mike" for him, and so he acknowledged the crowd for you.
I felt the game was over with, we were up by 32 points. There's no need to try to kill the team. Certain situations, yes, but not against the Bulls. I have the high regards for them.
How important is this win? You beat San Antonio, and you're on another one. You're in the 8th playoff spot.
This is a dangerous game. It's easy to have to beat San Antonio to come in and take this team for granted. I give the guys credit. They came in, we were focused. We basically just picked them apart and did all the necessary things, and that's what we need to do.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's go back to Barb.
All right, thanks, Craig. Next for the Wizards, back home for Indiana on Saturday night. Pacers with the best record in the East at 23-8. Again, the final score here in Chicago. The Wizards 107 and the Bulls 82. Marv Albert with the czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy saying goodnight from the United Center. We'll take a short break, and then we'll send it over to Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley for a game break presented by Southwest Airlines.
And you still want me?
Oh, yeah. I want you even more. I want to feel your body next to mine. I want to feel your skin against my skin. I want to feel your teeth inside me. I want to feel those fangs on my skin. I want to feed you.
Yes.
I want you forever.
I was born and raised in Chicago, and I walk the streets with the people, and I've been there most of my life. Play the way the city is defined, they're a blue-collar type city, and people like to see hard workers, and that's the way we've won. It's a great feeling to be playing in a city that is so crazy about their sports. What do the Bulls mean to you?